Heyo, folks! Welcome back. Oh, yeah, no stream yesterday because work. I had I can release that pinned message. Yeah, I sat in a conference call until 10 p.m. my time last night. So, hence no stream yesterday, but we are here today. And yeah, I checked what's on day 5, and it is Chuckys Ex-girlfriends. Now, it is the prosecution that brings them forward to the stand. So I assume they are going to tell everybody what a swell guy he is. For me, I'm not so sure their choices to do this character witness, because how do you go in court under oath and tell people you're easy to pick up, that a random person can go right up to you, say hi, and an hour later you're in the back seat of a car getting hammered? I'm not sure, but everyone for themselves. That's just my opinion, that it might not be such a good look on you. But you never know. And hello, Maritza, Shafos, Joy, Melissa, Total Not a Russian Bot, Christine, Tammy. And I was kind of surprised when I saw 2 exes in a row being taken the stand on this morning, on day 5. I haven't listened to what they have to say, but I'm just assuming they are trying to paint Mr. Charles Beltran in a good light. However, that's possible. But you never know. They might be completely credible in their description of this guy who they met, and on the same day they did their enter. Yeah, the failed rapper has quite a body count, and if you go by what's been presented in court, we are talking many people. Quick question: what happened to Hugo the Arsburner? He is cut down for the winter. He will rise again during the spring. I have collected all the fruits and seeds I need. I'm still trying to get good answers from the US Customs on how I can send the fruits or the seeds to people in the United States. And that is a bigger task than I anticipated. I have a few who are still waiting for it, and I'm doing my very best to make it happen. But I still need good answers from US Customs on how to actually move forward with it. And it's not easy. And if you've been around long enough, you know I worked as a documents analyst in the European Parliament for a while, back in 2009 to 2012. And I should be good at this. And I am. But in the other end, you have a government body. Yeah, sometimes getting a straight answer isn't the easiest one. Hi. His body count. Well, he worked as a bouncer security for quite some time, and apparently, according to his friends and testimony, he picked up women all the time. So yeah, could be quite a lot of people. And according to his own statements, he cheated on them all. And, well, not Lisa and Nina, because they were apparently good with it. But, hey, everyone for themselves. I just don't see the appeal with a failed rapper in his early 30s picking up early 20-something babes on a regular basis. For me, that only means you can't hold a woman. Hi, Donna. Hi, Kathy. Hey, Carmen. Yeah, but there's where we are. And yeah, let's just listen to these women and how they will paint Mr. Beltran in a good light. Again, I have to leave that slight opening that they will be doing well at it. Let's get jingles up there, and let's do the sound thingy. Let's start with 500%. This is a new day, so I'm not entirely sure what the sound will be. All right, let's get right into it. Oh yeah, by the way, this channel's birthday party is at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And for you who are in the loop, that means there might be alcohol, there will be guests, and there will be a fundraiser to the Sakura Anderson Defense Fund. And in this is the Wheel of Regrets. For every $250 donated to Sakura Anderson's Defense Fund and $50 to the channel, I will spin that wheel. And you have scorpion sauce, whiskey shots, habanero sauce, chilies, vodka, fresh horseradish, and stuff like that. So yeah, Wheel of Regrets. And I do know that we are already at, let's see here, at $270 donated to the Sakura Anderson Defense Fund. So we are well on the way already. Solomon will try. He's on baby duty today, so he might pop in and out, but he's on baby duty. Is Runkle being a part of this? He will. I've sent out the link to a lot of people, the invitations. So if he shows up, I will be glad. But we also know he is an active lawyer, and he has a family, and he has dogs. So no guarantees. But we are here for this, listening to Chuckys Exes.
For the delay, we're having a meeting with maintenance about these AC issues, and it's really bad news. So we're not going to have AC for 2 months.
Let me know how the sound is. Am I too loud? Caught too low? Just point it out in the chat, and I will try to make adjustments.
So, Merry Christmas. That's kind of a big lump of coal for the year. Any issues come up over the weekend that the court needs to be aware of from anybody? Nope. Fantastic. All right, Mr. Pittman, please call your next witness.
Assurance they call Nicole Beltran.
Mr. Brown, thank you. Come on up, ma'am. Good morning. You could approach the witness stand. Yes. You can please stop and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in this case will be the
Let's move. How? What? What? That's a whole lot of ass in a skinny leather pants. Ho ho. Okay. Everyone for themselves. If you're comfortable with having 2 sacks of potatoes inside a leather wallet, yeah, sure. That's up to you if you want that. I'm not judging. I'm trying not to judge. Okay. Let's let's go on.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God.
Yes, I do.
You may be seated. Thank you. Mr. Brown, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Doing good. What's your name?
Nicole Beauchamp,
And did you spell the record?
Cole, and Beauchamp is Beauchamp.
Yes, ma'am. Where are you from?
Miami, Florida.
You still live out there?
Yes,
So you're here just for this trial, is that right?
yes.
And you born and raised out in Miami?
No, born in New York.
Okay. So how long you lived in Miami?
Woo. Since 1990.
So quite a while then.
Yes.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I work for an airline.
What kind of work do you do?
Sales, reservations, international sales.
And we'll kind of get into it. The reason that you're here, you know Charles Beltran.
Yes.
How do you know him?
I met him at a grocery store in Miami.
In Miami?
Yes.
Yes, this is the woman. While he was on the run in Miami, he went to get groceries. She was there. They met. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, they met after the murder. I would assume that she was quite voluntarily involved in coitus with Mr. Beltran. Let's continue.
Do you remember about when?
On January 2nd, 2021.
And you said it was in the grocery store in Miami?
Yes.
How'd y'all meet?
I was grocery shopping and, I saw him, he saw me, and he approached me and he started talking to me and telling me he's not from here. And I'm always intrigued by a foreigner, so I was like, oh, he says he's not from here. I'm like, oh, okay. I want to show somebody around.
A foreigner? He's from Texas. Unless he did the foreigner spiel. Okay. If you see her on the street, act like a foreigner. You might have a good time.
It's a friendly like that, and that's how we met.
So pretty quick hit off in terms of able to talk and
Yes, very personable, very intriguing, very charming. He had a mask on, so I couldn't see his face, but his eyes were very welcoming.
we're talking about like the COVID style mask?
Yes, COVID mask, yes.
And I guess did you guys continued on seeing each other beyond that grocery store then?
At first I didn't meet up with him at first. I used to meet up with guys like that, so it took a while, probably like a week of him being like, oh, let's go out to eat, and I was like, But then I was like, you know what? He's like, let's go out and have lunch. I'm like, okay, it's the daytime. We're gonna go to a public place. So I went.
How was he?
Awesome. He was very friendly, personable, easy to talk to. We hung out every day after that.
What did he tell you his name was at first?
Antonio.
Ha!
You believe that at first?
Well, you know what? No, I don't believe anything any guy says. So I was like, "You're right." You know, I did think it was weird. And my boss who just moved here, he told me he had moved here from Pennsylvania, and I'm like, "It's just odd." I'm like, "You just moved here? Like, you don't know anyone here?" He's like, "No," and I'm like, "That was odd to me." So I was ready.
But still, not anything. No red flags, alarm bells going off. Hello, I'm Antonia. You look pretty. Late Met News was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope they will invite me back. Oh, you missed the ass, David. Oh, where is it? It is. I mean, it's just a few minutes ago. When she walks up to the stand. Oh, hold on. We are 39:33. Oh, sorry. How about that, Dave? Is that something for you? If you're into it, you're into it. I mean, it's cramming in two flower bags into a wallet. But if you're into it, you're into it. We were almost there.
I was like, "You're right." You know, I did think it was weird. And my boss who just moved here, he told me he had moved here from Pennsylvania. And I'm like, "It's just odd." I'm like, "You just moved here? Like, you don't know anyone here?" He's like, "No." And I'm like, "That was odd to me." So I was ready, on alert about that.
You still gave him a chance.
I still gave him a chance because the way he approached me was very welcoming. Yes.
And then did you guys begin to do some lunch and dinners and things like that, or?
We had lunch that day. After that, we hung out together every day. But I would never went to his house. We would meet up and hang out. Yeah.
Who paid?
And
who paid?
Was it physical quickly or?
No, we were friends at first. He didn't try anything. That's one of the reasons why I felt so comfortable hanging out with him. And this is why I don't ever meet up with any guys, because there's too, they try to come on to you quickly. But he was nothing like that. He didn't try anything at all. Eventually, we did, but it was because I gave him that okay kind of body language. Gave him the okay. But at first, no. We hung out for like a week, and he didn't try anything. Never.
So he was patient and respectful and waiting for any kind of physical advances.
Exactly. Yes.
And did your relationship kind of progress from there?
Yes. We were together every day, and it was intense. He was very, very loving and affectionate. I'm not an affectionate person. he was very loving and affectionate, and we were together every day.
You, chat, you are the bus stop jury. You have learned throughout this trial that Mr. Beltran picks up women like he picks up women. Does this make you like the guy, that one of his conquerors says he is a nice guy? I don't get it. But remember, throughout this trial, we had this, I believe, is witness number 4 or 5 who is there solely to paint Mr. Beltran in a good light. For me, that speaks volumes on how weak the state's case is. Oh, on it. Where is it? There. Mr. Jingles can't be left out.
Did you guys eventually, spend evenings at each other's houses or anything like that? Or?
So yes. So he eventually was like, "Oh, you want to come to my house? Like, I have no furniture there." But and I was like, "Okay." When he pulled up to his house was right down the street from my house. He doesn't know though, but I was in shock of how close where he was at, where he was staying at was. So I started going to his house. He was by himself there though. When I got to his house the first time, I remember I walked through the whole house. Like I went through every room. He was more like, this girl's bold, you know, just walking around, like seeing who's in the house, you know. But yeah, it was just us two.
Was anyone home? It was just the two of you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The next in house, was it an apartment or a house?
An apartment, 2-bedroom apartment.
And so you walk in, you're like, I'm gonna check the whole layout of this thing out.
Exactly.
Yeah. And how did things go from there?
From there, you know, started being intimate with each other, and we were just together every day. From there, it was awesome. It was great.
So how many times did you go over there when it was just the two of you?
Every day.
Okay. Was there a time where some other people showed up?
One time, he was like, he called me. He's like, oh, you know, you can't come over. He's like, I was gonna go to your house. I was like, no, I don't bring nobody to my house. You know, I got the son. I was like, no, I don't bring men to my house. And he's like, no, my.
You have a kid? Well, it's good that you don't want to bring guys over, but is this I need to find a daddy for my kid kind of? Yeah, whatever he's doing, he's doing it good, because he keeps picking up women everywhere. Remember, he had been in Miami for maybe a day and a half when he picked her up. And she says, oh, they were with each other every day. Yeah, he had other women in Miami. So all he did was literally screwing around.
Friends came back from out of town, you know, and I was like, he's like, yeah, I don't want anybody over here, you know. His friends came, they just showed up out of nowhere. I was like, okay, and that was that. We didn't see each other, or I never went to his house again for like a week.
So you ended up not going that
Right.
first time. Okay. Was there a time that you did go over there when these friends were there?
So then one day he's like, oh, you know what, you can come. He's like, you can come over, but you have to be quiet. I don't know. You're loud. I talk loud, laugh, you know. He's like, you're loud. He's like, I don't know if you can be quiet. I'm like, I can. And he's like, you know, he's like, all right. So he picks me up and we get to the house. Now looking back after knowing what's going on, you know, I remember him picking me up and he was just very weird in the car. He didn't want to, when we pulled up to the house, he was like standing there, you know, looking down, like I don't know what he was thinking about before. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, no, come on, let's go. I remember him going up to the front door and he stayed there for a while, like listening before we went in. But we go into the house and I didn't see anybody.
And none of it gave you a red flag. None of it. I mean, yeah, just. So you go into the car with this guy. He sits out, he drives up, he gets really nervous. And none of that is a red flag?
We went in there. We went straight to the room.
Okay. And how did he act that visit? Was it different the way he acted in hindsight?
Mm-hmm. He was just a little bit nervous or anxious the way he was acting.
Would he do stuff like with you guys in the room?
Yes, like he locked the door was different. He put like a table there. He also where I slept in the room, the bed was more against the wall, not next to the door. Things like that.
And at the time, you didn't know anything that's going on.
I had no idea.
Did you ever find out his real name?
So what happened was,
And I guess actually before I
Okay,
get to that, let me ask more about that time. There were people there. You didn't see the people that were there though?
no, I didn't. But the next day, I used to leave every morning. So the next morning when I wake up to leave, I walk out. I was like, oh gosh, the walk of shame. I was like, so I walk out and I see two women.
And thank you to Brandon for donating $260 to the Zachary Anderson Defense Fund. Thank you so much. And let's just go over here and see. Done. Yeah. So we are now up to 270 plus 260, $530 donated that goes towards the Wheel of Regret. Well, you also need to give a token of your appreciation to my channel for me to spin that wheel. And it's not like I'm going to be sober at my own birthday party or the channel's birthday party. I do have my selections of beers so yeah, it will be a party, but it starts at 4 p.m. So that would be in 2 hours. But let's get through the ex's testimony before we go over there and
I saw this white woman, and then I saw another one who had black hair, the curly hair. I saw her hair, and when we get back outside, I'm like, who are these women? And he's like, one of them is my cousin. That's her girlfriend. They're lesbians, and that was that. I believe what he said.
And then at some point, did you find out that Antonio was not his first name and the name he even went by?
Yes. So I was staying there with him, and I went to use the bathroom. When I went to use the bathroom, I found an ID in the bathroom. And I was like, I'm violating this person's privacy, but I'm going to look at it anyway because, I'm a single woman. Who could these people be? So I look at his ID, I see his name. I was like, okay, I went back to the bed. And right next to him, he was sleeping, knocked out. I Googled his name and I saw all this stuff about a missing person, this older woman who ran with him. Nobody had been, they only mentioned Lisa and him. And he was a person of interest and a missing person. So of course I'm like panicking, freaking out in the room, like pacing back and forth. He's like, what's wrong? I was like, oh, nothing, And then I never told him anything though. I kept it to myself. I was scared too, to say anything. I was just scared at the moment.
And at that time, the articles that you're seeing were just that it was a missing person. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. So then I was like,
sorry. Make sure you say yes or no, not the okay.
Yes.
So at that time, you're seeing it as a missing person. That's all you know at this point.
Yes.
Okay. And his name is in these articles, and Lisa Dykes' names are in these.
Yes.
Articles. No mention of Anina Morano at that time.
I thought that the girl that I thought I saw them with when I read the article. I thought that was the girl that was missing. But I saw her hair only on the couch. So I'm like, oh, that's probably the girl, and she probably wants to be here. So I really didn't think much of it. Even though I was freaking out, this was happening. I didn't think much of it because I thought that that's her.
that's your thought. That's your thought. Okay.
But I guess you still continue to see Chuck.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And everything was fine in the way you and Chuck's relationship still, even though he's giving you this middle name as his name.
Yes. Yep.
Obviously now you've got these
You
concerns.
stayed with him?
But you think the person you saw that you now know is Nina.
Yes.
You think maybe that's
her. Yes, exactly.
Okay. At some point, did Chuck leave Miami?
So he started saying that he was going to go to Tampa, out of town with his friends. I think there was a game going on at the time. And he's like, well, I'm going to go to Tampa. He was going to leave Tampa. And I was like, okay. And he ended up leaving. I stayed with him that night before he left.
I need to wrap my head around this. So you think the missing girl is the person with them, and your thought is not to, call the, she must be there voluntarily. Why do you go there if there's a missing person? And you read the articles. And I read a bunch of them. The families of Marisela Botello, worried sick. The police are involved. Yeah, exactly, Donna. Why not call the police? I mean, I this is a guy you known for, at this time, for about 2 weeks. This is borderlining on helping a criminal. I can't wrap my head around it. Why? Oh, there's a missing person. I saw somebody with dark curly hair. It must be her. And no questions. You assumed it was the missing girl. I can't wrap my head around it. I can't.
And then he left.
Did he come back at some point from that trip?
He came back, I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 weeks later, maybe 2 weeks later, he came back. It was like a surprise. He's like, hey, where are you? I was all with my friends. He's like, you gonna spend tonight with me? And I'm like, oh, aren't you in Tampa? He's like, oh, I'll be there in about 2 hours on the road, almost there.
So he came back, and then this trip back to Miami, was it a long stay or a
No,
brief stay?
very short, maybe like 24 to 48 hours. He came back, he came back,
wait.
I think it was like January 16th or something like that.
None
Turning, it was like basically the morning of January 17th, like 3, 4 in the morning-ish, I want to say. He came back, we went up again. He's like, oh man, I left my keys in Tampa. Like, we should rent a hotel. I'm like, okay. We rented a hotel. We hung out the next morning. We went to the beach together. And then that night we came back from the beach, and then we went our separate ways after that, and we met up again, and I spent the night with him again. And then the next day I went home, and I got a message from him.
My first question on cross-examination would get objected to, but might have been, are you stupid? How does any of this don't raise red flags to you? He's a guy wanted, obviously on the run. You think the girl is with him, and you do absolutely nothing except spreading your legs for him. Yeah, it's good that I'm over here and not a US trial attorney, because I don't know how I would avoid being quite graphic in my questioning of her. Well, welcome to my channel. It happens more often than you think. I mean, yeah.
He's like, more like, hey, how are you today? And I'm like, how are you? He's like, oh man, I had to leave again. I was like, what? He's like, yes, I had to leave. It was an emergency.
He's a guy, he's a person of interest. That means he's on the run. Oh, hi Gigi, welcome. Everybody say hi to Gigi, my first and best moderator. Hi Gigi.
To go.
Is that the last time you saw him?
That was the first time.
Do you know where he went after that?
No.
When is the next time you hear from him again?
I heard from him every day. Even when he left, he'd always call me and contact me. And he's like, oh, I had to leave. Something came up with one of his friends or something that he had to go.
He's on the run.
I don't know if it was New Orleans or Texas, but he had to go. I eventually found out too that he was from Texas because of us spending time together. I feel like it's only natural that the truth starts coming out. So that's how I knew.
You didn't get that from the articles where Texas police and feds are looking for him as a suspect in a person going missing in Texas? Are you stupid?
Knew that he wasn't a liar. He started telling me things throughout our time spending together.
You knew he wasn't a liar. He told you the wrong name. He's on the run. He's a person of interest in a missing persons case. Police force in Texas and feds are actively looking for him. And you sit on the stand and say, he's not a liar? Oh.
That, you know, he's from Texas and that that's where he's originally from, telling me things about his family. So he told me he had to come, I don't remember if it was Texas and New Orleans, but he had to go handle something over there.
But you guys, like you said, you're still talking every day, either text or phone calls.
Yes, every day.
And then at some point, and you, like you said, you kept what you read online to yourself. You never tell him you read anything.
Never told him anything.
At some point, you learn that he gets arrested.
So, yes, I saw that there was an arrest, that they found police body. And this is when I found out about Anina. I knew that person existed. And that's how I found out.
So you heard about
Yes.
finding Marisela's body.
Yes.
And then you hear that Chuck was arrested. Do you know where he was arrested?
Utah.
Did you talk to him once he got arrested?
The minute he got arrested, I went out of my way to look for him.
Why? Why? At this point, everything should come together for you. He was on the run in missing persons case. The man you went wide open for a couple of months. The man you met in a store who lied to you about his name. And you actively tried to... Why? Why isn't your first call to the cops? Hey, I have some information about this arrest. How the actual... I think she had, sometimes when you try to enlarge your behind, you have to have fatty tissues from somewhere. I think it's from her brain. Because Jesus Christ, she's thinking with her ass. Or further front. Oh. First of the day. First of today. Oh, I think there's going to be a few. Oh, God.
Public record. And I tried to reach out to him. He didn't call me back right away. He probably called me like maybe 3 or 4 days later after he was arrested there.
He did call you from Utah jail?
Yes.
And what's going through your mind at this point, now that you hear that it wasn't just a missing girl, it was a murder? They found her body.
I was in shock, and I couldn't believe that the person I spent time with was this person.
So did you talk to him then about what happened?
Of course, I talked to him. He's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I'm like, well, I knew that something was going on. He's like, you knew? I'm like, yes. I just never told you because I was scared at first, and I also didn't know how to bring it up. It's just something hard to bring up, He's like, you never acted any different. I didn't act it. He never knew that something was weird, different. But he just told me that he didn't talk much about what happened, but he did say that he's just happy it's over with. It's a weight off his shoulders. He's tired of running. He did say that.
Did he eventually tell you the details about what happened before you know?
Yeah, he told me the details, which are the same details I heard in the news. He said he told me that he met her in a nightclub in Texas. He told me that she approached him.
Which is a lie. He did not meet her in a nightclub. He met her on the street outside a nightclub after he was trying to get away from his baby mama. She came up to him asking him for weed, We don't know the extent of the conversation, but she went back to him and she disappeared. So, another lie. Now he's lying to her. This one isn't a one-night stand. He was with her for a couple of months. Up until Marisela's remains were found and he was arrested. Yeah, and you confronted him? No, you call the police. You tell them everything.
And that he said that they spoke about being together that night, intimate, and he asked her to go to his hotel. He's like, "Oh, can we go to your hotel?" And she's like, "No, people are there. Let's go back to your place."
Another lie. She was not staying at a hotel. She was staying at her friend's. Another lie. Another lie. And here's why they put her on after Chucky. Because they could have taken all the lies he told her up with him. This is prosecutional tactics, and I understand why they did it. Because if they put her on before, they could not indict they could pinpoint him on so many lies he told her. I'm not even sure they know all of what she's saying here.
He told me he didn't want to rent a hotel that night because it was, it was not going to be long. So he took her back to his house. And he told me that he took her back to his house. He goes, we spent the night there. We did what we did. We were intimate. And that he woke up to Nina stabbing motion. And
oh, this is why so she's here to confirm his testimony. She claims they talked about this 3 or 4 days after his arrest, once he was in Utah. Now, this will be interesting if this is before or after he lied his teeth out from the cops.
that Lisa was in there, and that he said he pushed Nina off, and then Lisa pushed him, and then he put his clothes on. He was scared, put his clothes on and ran, left. That's the story he told me.
This should be on a prison call recording.
And you continue to talk. Have you and Chuck continued to talk since this?
Oh, yes, we did. Mm-hmm.
So you're still in communication with them?
Yes.
Today.
Mm-hmm.
What? You talk to this guy to this day? Are you stupid? I don't think I need to ask the question anymore. Yeah, she's stupid. How does she still talk to this guy? You have a kid, ma'am. Is this how you want to raise your kid, in believing this is a good thing? I don't know what he has between his legs, but whatever it is injecting women with lie serum. Jesus Christ.
And you said just a second ago that he said Nina was stabbing her. Are you sure that's what he told you?
I'm sorry, not Nina, Lisa. Sorry about that. I get getting confused. He said he woke up to Lisa stabbing her, and that he pushed Lisa, and then Nina came in and pushed him, and then he pushed, right away, he pushed her too. But
which are lies. We know that. Since then, it's been affirmed, at least somewhat, that Nina was never in that room at that time. He's a lying liar who lies. It's all he does to get women to get away from things. All he does is lies. How can any believe this guy? Does his pheromones spread out like believe me pheromone? Is there such a thing? It's so stupid.
That she like pushed him, and then he got up, got his clothes on, and ran and left.
In your time with Chuck, I know you mentioned being scared right hearing this news, but were you ever scared of him personally?
Not at all.
Because you're stupid.
I'll pass the witness.
You find out that this man, wait, my approach is,
You may.
I'm sure you'll mark this offense exhibit number 3. This is the person you keep referring to as Chuck.
Yes, sir.
You find out that this man who wasn't completely honest with you about who he was he?
That's correct.
You had to, can we turn this on? Thank you.
Again, showing the mugshot during the testimony. Please make this a good cross-examination, lawyer.
You had to literally you found his ID. You said in the bathroom?
In the bathroom.
And that's when you learned his name was Charles Beltran, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Beltran, right?
Yep.
All right. And you said he was very loving, nice, very convincing, wasn't he?
Very. Yes.
Very charming.
Extremely.
I mean, you're still attracted to him, right?
Yes, I am.
He's still like a love interest to you, right?
Not a love interest, but a good friend, a good person. Mm-hmm.
So you're telling the members of the jury that, again, you're going to this apartment. Now, you don't know, I know that you saw the 2 women, right? At the apartment, right?
I saw 2 women at the apartment. Yes.
Okay, but as far as what other people were coming in and out of that apartment, you have no idea, do you?
No.
All you know is what he told you.
Right. And I spent time there. I didn't see anybody else there.
Right, but what I'm saying is when you were not there, you have no idea who all else she was communicating with, do you?
Right.
You indicated that even after you found out his name, that you went online. Remember that?
Yes.
And you see that he's a person of interest in a missing person
That's right.
case. He's there asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
So,
have to answer.
Oh, sorry.
but you don't wake up, Chuck, and say, hey, you know, what's all this?
No, I did not.
Because you're afraid, right?
Of course.
You're with someone that's the person of interest in a missing person.
That's him.
And now you just found out you don't really know anything about this guy, do you?
Right.
And so you were afraid.
I was afraid because of the story and to bring it up.
So why didn't you wake him up and say, hey, Charles Beltran, what's all this missing person stuff?
Because I'm not going to ask him that in the room with him like that.
Because anything could have happened to you, right?
Of course.
So you were concerned about your safety, weren't you?
Right. Not because of his personality, though. Because I'm in a situation that
Because all of your head is on your lower body. KLI, this is the woman he picked up from a grocery store in Miami and had a relationship while he was on the run. And she finds out that he told her a fake name. She finds out that he's a person of interest in a missing persons case. And she sticks around. Even though she has a kid at home, she sticks around. and does things for him, with him, everything.
I don't know anyone here,
Well, but you're only person you're in the room with is him.
but these other people are in the house.
What other people?
These people that were these two women.
But you knew that at least one of them is also a person of interest. How can you breathe without actively thinking, breathe in, breathe out? This is so stupid.
The story that you looked at had nothing to do with the two women. It had to do with him, correct?
The story that I saw was him, and the story was him and Lisa. When I found the ID, before that I had seen two women in the house when I found the ID. So I thought that one of them was the missing girl, and the other one was Lisa. But I still don't know much of what's going on.
And you didn't bother to find more things out.
So of course I'm afraid to bring it up. To me, it was just, how do I bring this up? I don't know what could happen to me. And I also didn't feel this person that I spent time with would do anything like that. There's no way.
So you weren't afraid that you too could come up missing?
No.
And that's because of all the love and kindness.
Did you at in any point think about your kid, ma'am? At any point did you think, hey, I'm a mother, I have a child at home, I don't want to get involved in this? Or did you just think, I'm moist and I need something in it, that's the guy who's going to put it in it?
That Chuck had showed you, right?
And not trying to come on to me like that, yes.
So you felt safe with him, right?
I felt safe, yes.
He's very convincing, right?
I mean, you could call it that.
Even though he wasn't being completely truthful with you.
He has every reason not to be truthful.
Excuse me?
He has every reason not to be truthful.
What? Yeah, his music videos in my last stream. Oh, hell, it's so bad. Oh. There's a reason why his friends, even his friends, say his music is a 3 out of 10. There's a reason why he, at age 31, was still having to pay venues to allow him to play there. He's a loser through and through. He has an extended criminal record, including, but not limited to, violence towards women. For fuck's sake. Oh, hold on. Two. FFS counter 2. We're up to 2. We're up to 2. How? You're a mother. Your prime concern should be your child. And there you are, with a man you know is lying to you, who is a person of interest in a missing person case. And all you think of is getting your moisty pots intruded. You absolute whore. What the fuck?
Well, he had reasons to
Of
lie,
course.
and that makes it okay.
It doesn't make it okay, but it's understandable.
So he did lie to you, right?
Of course he did.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna get right to the point. As far as when he went.
Please ask the question. Do you know that the story he told you about how the murder happened is not completely true as well? Yeah, this stream isn't monetized, so no ad revenue. If you noticed, no ads so far, or there shouldn't be any ads so far, because I had an inkling that that YouTube won't like this. Yeah. Holy
Went to Tampa. Who did he go to Tampa with?
He said his friends.
Again, you don't know that he was referring to those girls, do you?
No, I don't.
Right, could have been anybody, right?
Yep.
Did he ever talk to you about Santa Marta?
No.
Ask the question, defense lawyer. Did you at any point think of your child?
And this, when you, at some point, you find out.
Please ask the question. Did you at any point in this time, when you were with this person of interest in a missing persons case, did you ever think about your child? Then ask the questions. You just testified to this events took place in the apartment, what he told you from Utah prison. You do know that this is not what he is telling now. So he lied to you again.
But his missing girl was actually dead, right?
Right.
And you still don't stop talking to Mr. Beltran, do you?
I didn't. No, I did not.
In fact, you say that you talked to him while he's at jail. You're actually searching him out, right?
That's right. Yep.
Trying to find a way to contact this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You have to answer.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yes.
At some point, you contact him and he confides in you and tells you the story of what happened.
Right.
What he says happened, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the version that he gives you is that he's with Marisela. They go back to the house because he didn't want to go. They couldn't go to her hotel room, and he didn't want to purchase the hotel room, right?
Right.
And then they go back to the house in Mesquite, right?
That's right.
And have sex at some point.
Right.
Lisa comes in stabbing her.
That's correct.
Well, tell me exactly what he told you.
He told me that we're intimate. She came in. He woke up to her stabbing her. He said he, woke up freaking out. He pushed her off, and that Nina was there, and she pushed him.
All right, let me ask you this: did he say anything about pinning Lisa up against the wall?
Yes, he mentioned that they pinned her against the wall.
Did he say? But he definitely told you that he woke up to Lisa stabbing her.
Yes, like a stabbing motion.
Oh, this is so rehearsed. You lying piece of garbage. This is so rehearsed. This is so rehearsed. When he tries to impeach her, all of a sudden, oh, I'm supposed to say this as well. You lying sack of shit.
Oh, he never mentioned that. We never got into that.
Have you been following this on the internet since we've been going to trial?
Not since trial, but before trial, yes.
You have been following this on the internet
No.
since we've been in trial?
No.
As far as what he was telling you at that time, he made it clear to you that Lisa was stabbing her, didn't he?
The stabbing motion, yes. He woke up to her holding her neck and.
She's using the exact same motion. I could bet good money she watched his testimony. Because she will do absolutely anything for Charles Beltran. I could bet good money she would abandon her child for Charles Beltran. She would give her child up for adoption. Just to get her moist parts penetrated by Charles. You absolute piece of shit.
A stabbing motion.
Man, you talking to the man on the phone. He didn't show you no stabbing motion? Did he show you a stabbing motion?
No, he didn't.
So you're talking to him on the phone, and he's telling you he wakes up to her stabbing him.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, this should be at a prison phone call. Let's see exactly what he told you. And if you all of a sudden say stabbing motion, that means you had contact with him all throughout this time to get your story straight. And the prosecution knows it.
But one thing he also told you was that Nina came into the room, correct?
That's correct.
Pushed him,
Yes.
and he ran out of there.
Yep.
That's a lie. Come on, defense.
You
That
talked about talking to him while he's in jail. I mean,
hammer
you're
it
talking to him
in.
while he's in jail now.
That's correct.
Defense is dropping the ball on every lie he's ever told. Not again, defense lawyer. Come on. Ma'am, did you know that in his plea agreement, he changed his mind and Nina never walked in there? He lied to you again. How do you feel about that? That he keeps lying to you over and over and over again? Yeah, this is a completely winnable case for the defense. But in my opinion, the defense keep dropping the ball on this. He goes towards the point, but he doesn't hammer it in. Hammer it
So
in.
you say that he's just a friend, right?
That's right.
But are y'all singing love songs to each other?
We sing songs, all types of songs.
Love songs, don't you?
Like what? Love songs.
I don't know. You tell me. What songs are y'all singing on the jail calls?
Different songs that we like.
Like what?
Just songs that are on the radio, different songs. I went to a Beyonce concert, sang some of her songs. All types of music. He's into music.
But you don't deny you're singing love songs too.
I have
Right?
all types of songs.
My question is, you don't deny that you've sung love songs to him.
If you want to call them love songs, yeah. R&B.
In just the short time that you spent with Charles Beltran, you agree with me that you are obsessed with him, aren't you?
No.
He's manipulated you like he's manipulated so many other women in his life.
He
Yeah.
never manipulated me. He doesn't need to manipulate me. I'm not easily manipulated.
But you were.
No, I was not.
Ah.
I'm a good judge of character. When I see somebody's a good person, I realize it.
You're a good judge of character. You meet a man at the grocery store, right?
That's right.
He tells you, Judge, I'll pass it with you. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Any regret?
No, you're not.
What? Was that it? Was that it? There's so much more you can... Love songs, who the fuck cares? He said this about Nina. Yes. Did you know he lied to you about that? Because in this plea agreement, Nina wasn't involved. How do you feel about him lying to you again and again and again and again? And if you want to watch the Charles Beltran takes the stand, it's day 4. I have labeled the streams with Charles take the stand and Chucky cross-examination of Chucky or something like that. Defense, come on, defense. This should be so easy. This should be so easy. What? Jesus Christ, defense lawyer. This is easy. It should be easy.
May this witness be kindly?
No, just, no.
Thank you.
You're free to leave, ma'am. Thank you.
That's
Call
a
your next witness.
Jesus.
County of the state calls Jasmine Cannon.
Here comes Jasmine, another one of Mr. Beltran's exes. Now, she does a good job. Jasmine does a very good job in taking the stand and showing her face, and she knows she can just wipe it clean and nobody will recognize her. And you will know what I mean in a few seconds.
Will you please stop and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You may be seated.
Thank you.
I see you have your phones with you. Are they on silent?
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
Yep, this is baby mama.
Ma'am, can you state your name and spell your name for the court recorder, please?
My name is Jasmine Cannon, Jasmine, last name Cannon.
Okay. And Ms. Cannon, you know Charles Beltran, right?
I do.
What do you call him?
Chucky,
Chucky. And you know Lisa Dykes.
yes.
And did you ever meet Nina Morano?
No.
Okay. So how did you meet Mr. Beltran?
I was walking to my car in Deep Ellum and my friend was looking for a cigarette. He happened to have one, so we just stopped and talked.
We
for a
picked
bit.
her off the street.
Did you guys chat for a while?
Yeah, for about a good hour or so.
And after chatting with him about an hour, did you guys exchange information so you could keep in contact?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you guys eventually start dating?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell the jury just a little bit about dating Chuck.
Spontaneous, fun. You know, he's funny. I feel like we had a good relationship, a good friendship. We argued at times. I mean, we have a child together.
2 washcloths and she would be unrecognizable to everyone. She doesn't have to use a face mask to hide her face. She does it with 2 pounds of claggy material.
So it was normal, but it wasn't anything like where he's never even called me out my name or attempted to put his hands on me, anything like that. He's more so the type of person that runs away from his problems. So if we did have an argument, he'd just get up and leave and stop talking to me for a long time.
And about how long did you all, I guess, have this dating relationship?
About 2.5 years.
You said that you had a child together, and that's Charlie. Is that right?
Yes,
Do you have another child?
I do.
Okay, and you have an older son. Is that correct?
Yes, I have a 16-year-old son, and Charlie, she's 4.
And how was Chuck with your older son?
Amazing. They had a really good relationship. He would always take him to do things.
Oh yeah, I get 10 memberships to gift away each month, apparently. That's the new YouTube thing. I gifted 5 last week, and now I gifted 5 more. To Rosman Ranch, Danielle, Tianina, Yvette, and Bree. Now you have access to my members-only content and to my Discord. I think some of you have been members reoccurring, so welcome back. So, this doesn't count towards my channel birthday party later on with the Wheel of Regrets, where fundraiser to the Zachariah Anderson Defense Fund, and every $250 donated to Zachariah Anderson Defense Fund and $50 to my channel, either through gifted memberships, super chats, or via PayPal, and I will spin that wheel, and I will eat chili sauce of different strength, and different kind of shots. I whiskey shot, gin shot, vodka shot, I also have something that fresh horseradish. And when I mean fresh, I mean fresh. I picked it, fresh. I picked it out of my garden a couple of months ago. So I'm not 2 shots in because I still need the appreciation to the channel to. Well, I will still be having a party on my birthday stream, the channel birthday stream, but that will be pure beer. If you want me to spin that wheel, gotta pay for it. Yeah, and horseradish, the western wasabi. Now this grows wild in my garden. Somebody a number of years ago decided to grow horseradish here, and it still grows here and there on my in my garden. So it grows wild. Yeah, do the YouTube things. Like, subscribe, share, everything. Scorpion sauce, hold on. Hold on, I will bring that up. This is 50% Trinidad Scorpion chili. 50%. And then it is, let me read here. Hold on. Then it's some half-tone, apricot, lemon, ginger, and a bit water. So yeah. This is the habanero. And it is 75% Caribbean red habanero. Oh, my PayPal. The link should be in down in the description. Hold on while I check so I haven't lost it. No, it's in. Okay, and Gigi pulled it out. Yeah. And the fresh horseradish, it's still in my cooler, so I will bring it up. I will grate it live and eat a spoonful. Yeah, I'm going all in on this. And everything will start at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with my channel birthday party. Oh, why you can't search for my PayPal? It's a donation page. So you don't. You can also find me via my email, but that for tax reasons, that's 2 different things. So you have one donation side and one where you can just send me money. Donation page is better for me because of tax reasons. But oh, hold on. Let's continue with the testimony. Oh, that's the wheel. There she is, I believe. Let's continue. So this is the baby mama. They were together for 2.5 years. During those 2.5 years, he cheated on her with an obscene amount of women. But here she is, painting him in a good light. Remember, he had close to $40,000 in unpaid child support to this woman. For me, that says he abandoned them, and she still takes the stand, protecting him. The fuck?
Unfortunately, more so than Charlie, but he did have a good relationship with my son.
As far as Charlie, was he, the kind of dad changing diapers there, helping feed, stuff like that?
No.
Okay. Did you all live together for a time?
Yes.
And how did his club lifestyle affect that?
It was horrible. He would not come home he
Oh.
would have my car for days at a time and not.
Oh, so not so good light. Good. And thank you, Brandon, for sending to my PayPal. That means in the channel birthday party, we have 2 spins already. We have 2 spins already in the Wheel of Regrets. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Come back or answer the phone. Just staying out all night or for days. That's just how he was.
So it certainly wasn't conducive to the family life.
Not at all.
At some point, did you all, I guess, decide and separate from this living arrangement?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember about when that was?
Right before I had my daughter.
So he never lived there with you and Charlotte?
No.
So he abandoned you while you were pregnant. Charles Beltran is garbage. No redeeming factors that I can see. But he gets laid a lot. Now, here's one of my theories that I actually kind of is leaning towards. What we know through testimony, through Charles' friend, is that Marisela Botello walked over there, they talked for a bit, she asked for weed. They talked some more, Chucky and her left, the friend went the other direction. For all we know, all she wanted was weed. Speculation. I have weed in my house. Okay, why not? Let's have a drink and some weed. They go through 7-Eleven, buy some chasers or whatever you call it for the booze, go over to his apartment, drink weed. Something happens. Now, Chucky says that they had sex, Lisa came in, did the stabby, and all that thingies, and then he ran out of there. Alternative scene of events. They went there. They had drinks, they had weed. He started to come on to her. She said no. Things happened. And we also know through defense exhibit something that she was missing her front teeth. Her remains, the skull was missing the front teeth. Now, a young person at age 23, those don't just drop out of your skull after death. Now, the prosecution hasn't moved forward. The bone guy testimony and the coroner's testimony was there are no trauma to the remains. But that doesn't mean those 2 front teeth wasn't knocked out. And there's nothing from the family of Marisela who says nothing else but drinks and weed. No hard drugs. So did her friend. No hard drugs. I believe something happened there. I don't understand why Nina and Lisa. Nina Morales is a lawyer. Lisa Dykes is a negotiator at a law firm. I can't for my life understand why they didn't turn him in. Because he has a criminal record all over the place, including, but not limited to, violence towards women. But you see all the time in the women's testimony how they protect him. The women protect him. I don't know what she will testify to the rest of her testimony, but seriously, what the actual F is going on with Charles Beltran that makes him act, because he is essentially a loser. He has no career, he has no music career, he is bad at music. He worked as a bouncer only because of friends. He works at security at a bar only through friends. And all of these women just open their legs to him and protect him. I believe that's because of the prosecution. They wanted to prosecute Lisa. So that part he took back. So they didn't have to prove all the allegations. All they need to prove beyond the reasonable doubts is the case against Lisa Dykes. Yeah, I'm not sure, but for me, this is every solid piece of evidence in this case points to Chucky. Everything. Because as you remember last witness, and maybe if you saw Chucky testify, stabby. And Chucky said, Marisela, her upper body covered in blood. Lisa Dykes, pinned against the wall, upper body covered in blood from Marisela. There's no blood spatter from a stabby knife motion in the entire house. On that place beside the bed, where he alleged they fell down, has a 1 foot by half a foot. That's the blood stain. That's the entirety of the blood stain on that side. That's where Marisela Botello died. Bled out. There's no fucking way in hell that supports his story. For me, it's more probable that Chucky. How, why, when, don't know, don't care. But all of it points to him, in my opinion. Thank you for your $5 super chat. Valhalla! You want Chugga beer, you coward? I'm going to help you get some chilies in your throat tonight. Maybe these women like it spicy as well. 1 year! 1 year! Okay, that brings us $5 towards shot number 3. And we are at 530. That leaves 220 donated to Zachary Anderson's fund towards shot number 3. Or no, not shot number 3. Spinning the wheel number 3. But let's move on with this lady.
Did he come around and see Charlie from time to time?
Sometimes.
But not that
No.
often. Did you all still maintain, I guess, a friendship or relationship after Charlie's birth?
Yes.
And did you guys talk frequently?
Yes.
And how old did you say Charlie's now?
She's 4.
4. So was there a time, I guess, tell me, when did you learn that he had moved in with Lisa?
Charlie.
Here's with the spins. Let's pick up the spinning wheel. I can, every time I spin, I get the choice to remove that result. So that's how I can, one of the ways I can keep count. But I will also have pen and paper.
He was maybe about 2 months old.
So a couple months after living with you is when you learned that he moved in with Lisa?
Yes, we had got into an argument a little bit after she was born. He was driving a white SUV that belonged to Miss Dykes, and that's how I found out that he was living at her home.
And did he tell you who she was to him?
He said that she was just like a lawyer friend and that she was just helping him with money for the most part. And then one night he needed a ride to her job off North Simmons Freeway. And so he needed to go get some money from her. And so I asked him, how deep is your guys' relationship? And then that's when he began to tell me that it was more sexual but it was more of like him getting money from her and him giving her sexual favors.
Now, at some point, so you learn that he's living there. At some point, does he start talking about Nina?
No,
Okay. At that time, Charlie, had you ever gone through the court system to, I guess, legalize that or have any kind of legal documentation of that?
no, I'm not really the type of person that believes in child support. That's just me. So at the time, even though he wasn't really just helping me, I had never went to court to get full custody of her. I was attempting to be fair with him. But when I received the papers and everything that was in those documents, that's when I went ahead and called to get like legal custody on paper of her.
And these documents, about when did you receive these documents?
Maybe like August, maybe September or August.
So the asswipe got his lawyer girlfriend to make the draft so he could get out of paying child support. Yeah.
It was a few months before this incident happened with Marisela.
Had Chuck ever indicated to you that he wanted full custody of his daughter?
Never.
Now, you said that you got the documents, and you said that they were fake.
Yes.
Is that correct? What did the documents say?
The reverse.
The documents were stating that I had to give him full custody of Charlie. She was going to be living at Miss Dykes' home. I would.
What? So it was the other way around, not him abandoning the kid. He tried to get the kid? What the actual F? Forging documents?
Be paying a certain amount of money in child support. I got to see her once a weekend every month. I was not allowed to take her outside of Texas ever without permission. And that somebody basically would be coming to take her from me to deliver her to Chucky or to Lisa. And then like on each of the papers, it was like a stamp and it would have their signatures, not his, but Lisa and Nina's signatures on these papers.
Okay. So to this day, you've never met Nina?
What the actual F? Okay, I'm not pretending Lisa Dykes is an innocent person in this. She is a horrible person. She had a blood clot, then she started to change. She got herself a wife and a toy boy. But this is second level. And in this, we know through phone data and cell data about her going back and forth to approximately where the remains were found. So they got her on tampering with evidence, tampering with the dead person, all of that. We are talking 5 to 20 years, depending on the sentencing. We already know all this, but here's the thing. We are here on the actual murder trial. The actual murder. And the prosecution chooses to go, let's point this at Lisa Dykes because Chucky is such a swell guy. Ignore his criminal past, his violence towards women, and the actual physical evidence doesn't collude with his testimony. But as it seems, Lisa Dykes is a horrible person as well.
Never.
Okay, you just saw her signature on that.
Correct. And that's how I found out about who she was.
Now, how did that make you feel when you got these documents?
I was livid.
I mean, had you been a good mom to Charlie
Absolutely, to both of my kids.
and to your son?
Absolutely.
Is your son involved in activities, sports, things like
He
that?
plays basketball very heavily. He plays travel ball. He plays high school ball. So I am very active with his ball. And not that this makes a difference, but I am a single parent to both of my kids. My son does not have a father either. His father did pass away. And so I make sure that I do everything that I can for both of my children.
What did you do when you got these documents?
I called Lisa's job. And in the beginning, I wanted to be a woman about things and figure out exactly what it was that she was attempting to do. And she started to get snappy on the phone, so I got snappy back and I cussed her out.
Okay. And when you cussed her out, what did she do?
She hung up the phone.
Now, you said that she got snappy back. Was she accusing you of being a bad mom?
Basically trying to tell me that I was pretty much upset that her and Chucky were in a relationship and I didn't have him anymore. But that was not the case because I talked to him frequently. I mean, I didn't want to be in a relationship with him. Our friendship was good enough.
As far as Chuck, did you talk to him about this?
I did.
And what did he say?
He had told me that he didn't know anything about it and that he would talk to her to get her to.
We don't know yet if she's there to corroborate his story or if she's there to badmouth Lisa and Nina. It seems so far the sole reason she's there is to badmouth Lisa and Nina. And she's doing a good job at it. She doesn't have to lie, like the previous witness.
For them to back off. I don't really know if that happened though, because I started to receive phone calls from unwanted, like from private calls.
Objection, Your Honor, to the narrative. Sustained.
And you said that you're not sure if he had her back off. Were you receiving strange phone calls
I was.
of unidentified people?
Objection, Your Honor, to leading. Sustained, don't lead.
What kind of phone calls were you receiving?
Blocked calls and people just on the phone, but not really saying anything. So I just assumed they were messing with me. So then I just changed my phone number.
You said at some point that you got went to court, filed the legal paperwork, and things of that nature. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
At that time, did you put Chuck on child support?
I opted out.
Okay.
Did this cause some problems between you and Chuck and this kind of co-parenting friendship?
No.
At some point, you actually saw Mr. Beltran on the night that Marisela went missing. Is that
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
And tell the jury where you saw him.
Punk Society in Deep Ellum.
And were you there alone or with other people?
I was with a group of my friends. We walked into Punk Society and he was standing at the bar. We got into an argument. I feel like it was probably over the whole Lisa situation and the paper she sent me. As I said before, he's not a person that likes to kind of confront situations. He's more of a runner. So he then proceeded to walk over to Dax, which is his friend, and they left out the back door and left. He left his drink at the bar and everything, and I didn't see him for the rest of that night.
And was that the last time you saw him for some time?
Yes, that's the last time I saw him. Around Christmas, he sent both of my kids gifts. The address that he sent them from came from Pennsylvania. But I didn't talk to him. He just.
And so that was Christmas. You get some gifts, but you don't talk to him. And was that unusual for your friendship or relationship with Chuck?
No, for us not to talk. No, it wasn't a normal. It wasn't. No, it was normal for us not to talk for periods of time.
Okay. So it was normal for you guys not to talk.
Yes.
When was the next time that you recall seeing Chuck?
March.
Okay. And was that in Dallas?
Yeah, Irving. Yes.
In Irving?
Yes.
Okay. And is that where you lived at the time?
Correct.
Did you live in an apartment or a house?
An apartment.
Okay. And how did he get in touch with you?
He came to the.
Everything about this case is strange. The trial is strange. the prosecution's choices are strange. Everything about this is, it's insane. It's bonkers. In my opinion, every piece of solid physical evidence points to Chucky. But Chucky is the one who squealed on Lisa. And he tried to squeal on Lisa and Nina at the beginning. But then he chose to alter his story again to just involve Lisa. And the prosecution is now charging and prosecuting Lisa Dykes with the murder of Marisela Botello. And I talked to other people about this, and since the initial investigation was so absolutely bad and everything, they could easily charge all three of tampering with evidence, the desecration of a body. I mean, there are so many crimes in this they could charge all three for. That with Mr. Beltran's criminal past, he is looking at least 20 to life, if convicted. Lisa and Nina, 5 to 20. That would have been a solid prosecution. This heap of garbage that the prosecution is doing, I don't get it. I simply don't get it.
Door. He knocked on the door, but I didn't answer because he had the peephole covered. And I said, "Who is it?" And he said, "It's Aunt." I don't ever call him by his first name or his middle name. And I said, "Who?" Because I couldn't hear him. And he said, "It's Anthony." And I'm like, "Who?" So at that time, my daughter's crying. She's in the kitchen. I just got home from bringing groceries and from getting groceries from Walmart. I walked to the kitchen to grab her really quick. I come back to the door and I open it. He's not there.
Okay. And how did you get in touch with him?
So I closed the door. I called my mom and I said, "I'm pretty sure Chucky was just at my house." I go into the kitchen, and the way that my apartment was, I lived on the first floor. The glass would come from the kitchen patio and go all the way around to my bedroom. He threw a plastic box with like the rose teddy bear in the middle of it. It's see-through. He threw it out the window, and it made a loud boom, of course. In the box, there was a note, and the note said, "Hey, can you call me?"
And did you call him?
I didn't call him. I sent him a text, and I said, "What's wrong with you?"
And what did he say?
He called me, and then we were on the phone, and he said, "I miss you guys. I want to see you." And I said, "What's going on with you?" And he was like, "Well, just come and meet me, and I'll tell you everything." Around that time, it was a little bit cold, so I got Charlie dressed, and we went to meet him. He told me to meet him at a McDonald's, but on the way, he called me to see where I was at, and I was right across the street at a 7-Eleven from the McDonald's, and he said, "Oh, I'll just drive over there." So I just stayed parked at the 7-Eleven.
Okay. After you guys.
That was him checking so you weren't setting him up. Where are you now? I'm here. Oh, I'll just drive there. That was him probably following you. Probably, in my opinion. Checking so you weren't followed by cops.
It's 7-Eleven. Did you guys talk for a while?
Yes.
And what happened after that?
He asked to spend the night. So I asked him what was going on when we were there. We got in, he was driving a Jeep Wrangler at the time. We got in the Jeep Wrangler. I asked him what was going on, and he said that he didn't know because he had already spoken to detectives and that they were no longer wanting him for questioning. And I said, "Well, what happened with this girl?" And he said, "Well, I'm pretty sure she went back home. She was so adamant about me getting her, back to her where she was coming from because she had an early flight." And I said, "Okay." He said, "Can I spend the night?" And I said, "Yes, but I have company over. At the time, my friend was there with her children, and then of course my 2 kids. So I explained to him, like, they're all there, so it's probably going to be loud. And he was like, that's fine. Then we went back to my house and he stayed the night.
Okay. So he stays the night with you, and was your son there at the time?
He was, yes.
Stays the night with you and your kids. You said your mom's there. And
She wasn't there. I was on the phone with her.
okay. And you spend the night there. Did he kind of seem like everything was normal?
Yeah,
Okay.
everything was fine. He wasn't acting unlike he normally. He was telling me about going to all these different places and working and seeing Niagara Falls. It was almost like he was on vacation.
Did he tell you where all he went?
To Miami.
Here again, Chucky acting like a sociopath. Acting absolutely normal. The friend testified it to who met him the day after Marisela's death, according to Chucky, and he acted perfectly normal. I have no idea. I have no idea if the Pope quit drinking. You have to ask him.
To New York, to Pennsylvania, to Mexico.
And so that was kind of the conversation that evening.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And you were under the impression that he had already spoken with detectives.
Yes,
Now, you later found out that wasn't true.
correct.
Okay. And he had also mentioned that he missed you guys. He missed the kids.
Correct.
At some point, I guess, how long did he stay with you? Let me back up just a little bit. How long did he stay with you?
So he spent the night. The next day I was kind of sick, so we went to the emergency room. We stayed that whole entire day together. We went out to eat. My son had a basketball tournament in Houston that weekend. So I told him, you can come with us or you can stay here, because he was doing laundry and he said that he was tired of driving. So he said, I'll just stay here. And me and my kids went to Houston. He was talking to me the entire time on the phone. That Sunday.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object non-responsive and narrative.
Sustained. Ask your next question.
So he stayed in Dallas and you were driving to Houston, correct?
Correct.
Were you guys talking on the phone the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. And how long was the tournament?
That weekend, so 2 days.
Did he stay in Dallas for those 2 days?
At least I thought. On the way home, he told me that he was no longer at my house and that he needed to go to a friend's house in New Orleans to drop off that Jeep Wrangler.
Okay, so when you got back, he was gone and he had told you he'd gone back to New Orleans.
Yes.
At some point did he, and he said something about taking the Jeep back, correct?
Correct.
Okay, at some point did he call you from New Orleans and talk to you?
He did. He asked me to come and get him.
And did you go get him?
Yes.
And where did y'all go after that?
Back to my house.
Okay, and why did you need to go get him?
He just said that he needed to ride back to Dallas. He wasn't going to take the Jeep Wrangler back. He needed to ride back to Dallas. He was going to get ready to go to New York, back to his friend's house, but he needed to get back to Dallas first.
Did he tell you who he was with at all these places? Did you know
No.
all that?
He never named any names.
And when you guys got back to Dallas, what happened next?
We got back to Dallas. He wanted to go to New York. And then he changed his mind. He said that he needed to make some money and he wanted to move to Vegas to start over, basically. He felt like his reputation was just shot out in Dallas because of him being all over the news. So he asked me if I would ask my brothers if he could do some work with him. Yes, both of my brothers live in Utah, and yes, they do sell drugs. And so he asked if he could go to Utah to get some work from them so that he can move to Vegas.
And so when you talked to your brothers, did they agree to let him go to Utah?
I want to
and
do
stay there?
crimes.
Yes, they
Please
did.
believe me, Yuri.
And, I mean, that's a long drive, right?
Too long.
Were you wanting to go?
I did not want to go.
Okay, but, your brothers wanted to see you.
For you who were here for the previous witness, how she claims they talked every day, they did that in Miami, he went over there, they talked every day, she's loyal to him and everything. Meanwhile, he's with her, trying to get her to move around with him. That's Charles Beltran. He's an absolute waste of air. There's zero net positive with this guy being on the streets. And the prosecution is relying on this human garbage to prosecute Lisa Dykes, knowingly that he is an absolute waste without any redeeming factors. It's pissing me off.
And my dad.
And your dad's there as well.
Yes.
And Chuck wanted you to go too, right?
Yes.
Had your brothers and dads seen your daughter Charlie in a while?
Not in person. They've never met her. And so my dad was like, just come and I want to see you and I want to see my granddaughter for the first time.
What car did you guys go in?
I got a rental.
Okay. And so you guys rent a car and drive to Utah. Is that right?
Yes.
Everything seemed okay at that time?
Everything was perfectly fine.
Did you kind of get him set up with groceries and clothes and things like that?
We went grocery shopping. We went to go get him clothes. We were sitting in restaurants eating like it was nothing out of the norm.
He was staying with your brothers in Utah.
Correct.
And
I wonder if Charles did Robert Johnson and went to a crossroads and when asked, well, you can have a successful music career or you can have a magic dong. And apparently he chose magic dong. And that...
how did you and Charlie get back to Texas?
I got a plane ticket to go back home because I was leaving the rental there. I wasn't going to drive back by myself with her.
Now, when you got back, is that when you started getting some phone calls?
I got a call from the U.S. Marshals.
And they were looking for Chuck, right?
Yep.
Was it then that you realized that he wasn't completely honest with you about talking to the detectives?
Yeah, I was pretty spooked. While I'm actually on the call with the U.S. Marshals, one of my friends sent me the article that her body had been found and he was wanted for capital murder.
And so this was all at the end of March, is that right?
Yes.
He was arrested on an original charge for capital murder. That's, in the state of Texas, is a death penalty charge. And now he's squealed on Lisa Dykes. And he pled guilty to tampering with evidence. And if everything goes his way, he walks due to time served. This pile of human feces might walk a free man after this. And I say that's the prosecution's fault. Everything that he does for the rest of his life towards women, towards friends, towards everybody, that's solely, well, of course, he will still do it because he can't help himself, because he is human feces, his feces in human form. But he could be spending the rest of his natural life in prison, but the prosecution, through their plea deal and putting him on the stand, if it works, he will walk.
So he's actually in Utah when you get the word that Marisela's body had been found?
Yes, ma'am.
At that point, he told you what had happened?
No,
Had he indicated to you that he was tired of traveling and going places and wanted to kind of settle?
yeah, he wanted to settle in Vegas.
Had he mentioned Lisa or Nina at that point?
No,
And what did you do when you found out the marshals were looking for him and you found out that Marisela's body had been found?
I called him.
And what did he say?
I was telling him, like, I was asking him to tell me the truth because of what are you doing? And then you're at my family's house. You're going to get all of us in trouble. And he was like, he was in the process of getting ready to tell me what was happening. And my dad's on the phone and they're like, well, you know, he needs to get, basically he's going to get out of there. He wanted to go get a hotel to get away from them. While we're on the phone.
So your dad and your brother wants to help him escape. Okay, that's aiding a criminal. Holy
He says, somebody's knocking on the door, but the peephole is covered. I'm going to call you right back. I'm still on the phone on the three-way call with my dad. My dad's like, well, I'm on the way over there to get him.
Hi, Scott.
We'll just get him a room so that we can be away from all of this. But that didn't happen.
Okay. While you were on the phone with him, did you learn that he was arrested?
No, I didn't know right away. My dad pulled up, but I guess they were in unmarked cars. So he wasn't sure or not if they had arrested anybody at that time. He just kind of sat outside of the apartment complex. The way that my brother's apartment complex is, it's a gated community. So he sat kind of like on the outside and didn't go into the parking garage or anything.
Your Honor, I'm
like that.
gonna object to this speculation. She doesn't know where he was parked or anything like that. She's on the phone.
Okay, he told me.
No, ma'am, I can't speak right now. I have to make a ruling, and then you can only speak when you're asked a specific question, and then try to only answer that specific question.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry about that.
Thank you. All right, sustain. That's your next question.
Okay. So you weren't there, you're just listening to your dad.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you learn that Chuck had been arrested later on?
Yes.
Okay. And your brothers got arrested too, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. They eventually got released.
Yes.
But when Charles was arrested, he stayed in jail.
Yes.
Correct? Did you talk to him on the phone?
Yes. He called me.
previous witness. They talked, might have got their story straight so she could testify in his behalf. He calls. I repeat, if you believe in the supernatural, I think Mr. Charles Chucky 50-50, he went to a crossroads, buried some coins, struck a deal, and he had a choice between a successful music career and a magic dong. And he chose a magic dong. Unbelievable. Unfucking-believable.
And what did you all talk about?
He asked me if I could help him get a lawyer.
And what did you tell him?
I told him yes.
Okay. And when you started trying to find him a lawyer, what were the lawyers telling you that you needed to know?
They told me that I needed to know everything so that they could know what kind of case this was. So when I did talk to him, I told him that he needed to tell me what happened from the beginning to the end.
Okay. And what did he tell you happened that night?
Okay, here we go. First, I thought she was only there for making Lisa look bad, and she succeeded. That's not hot. Lisa Dykes is not a good person. Now, let's see if he told her a slightly different version, or if he told the same version as to his other girlfriend. Which, coincidentally, in the plea agreement, he took back some of it. So, he is a lying liar who lies. He is a lying liar who lies to get away with everything. And the prosecution here allows him.
He said that that night after he left, he had met Marisela and with Dax, and that they had eventually decided to go back to his house, but she was thirsty or wanted something from the store. So he said that they drove to 7-Eleven first. Once they left 7-Eleven, they went to the house, to Lisa's house, and he said that they were smoking and drinking. So he said we were pretty cross-faded and we were up talking at first, and then they had sex, and then they fell asleep. He said that when he woke up, Lisa was on top of her, stabbing her. He said that in the beginning, he just thought it wasn't real, and he got up and attempted to get Lisa off of Marisela, and they ended up falling on the ground. And then he said that at that point, he's coming out of the room to use the restroom to come back in because he's still not believing what's happening. He comes.
That's not the story he told in court. Again, he's a lying liar who lies. He's feces in human form with a golden dong.
Back in the room to get dressed. He was like, and you know how I am, I just run from everything. And so then he said that that's when Nina was coming in the room at the time, and then he left in that white SUV to go to Dax's house.
And
That's not the story he told on the stand. And I don't believe a fucking word of anything he says to anyone, including in this trial.
And do you recall if he told you how he got Lisa off of Marisela?
He never got her off of her. He just pushed her, and they both fell to the ground.
After he told you this, what'd you do that information?
I called his lawyer. I called his lawyer back and told the lawyer what he had told me.
Have you continued to remain in contact with Chuck?
Yes.
Why? Why? You have 2 kids, woman.
All right, yeah, pass the witness.
You have 2 children, and you're staying in contact with feces in human form. You make bad choices, girl.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Cannon, Your Honor,
Oh.
I can't.
Oh, other lawyer, please be better. Please be better. Please be better at your cross-examination. Please, 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 please.
See, Ms.
Oh,
Cannon,
sorry.
Yeah, she did move a little bit of that. Okay, thank you.
Is that good?
Yes, that's right. Okay. All right, Ms. Cannon, I'm Valerie Baston, and I'm one of Lisa's attorneys, and I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So you stated earlier you never met Nina, but you met Lisa. When do you remember meeting Lisa?
I didn't meet her. I called her.
So you just talked to Lisa on the phone?
Yes.
But this would have been months after she and Chuck had this relationship?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that Lisa and Nina sent you some fake papers?
Yes.
Okay. But these papers were actually filed in the 254th Judicial District Court, correct?
No, I don't believe so.
You don't remember seeing a court number on there where Charles Beltran was the petitioner in a paternity suit?
No.
Okay.
Please show the evidence. Please show the actual evidence. The main lawyer keeps referring to police interviews. He keeps referring to evidence, and he never showed it. Now this lawyer claims this was an actual petition filed in court. Then show it with stamps and all. Please don't drop the ball, you two.
And when you found all this out, did this kind of take you back?
It
Were you
took
kind
me-
of taken aback by all of it that,
Absolutely.
okay. And, it's disturbing to you?
Very much so. This family has to suffer for no reason whatsoever. And at the time, I definitely put myself in her mother's shoes. I have children of my own. I wouldn't know what to do.
So Ms. Cannon, so you never knew that Charles actually had a warrant out for his arrest for capital murder? Did
No, I did not.
you didn't check, you didn't check any news sites or police reports when he came to?
That, my friend, is the Texas flag. I think Texas flag. How does it look? This is the Texas flag, which is folded over here. So yeah, it's the Texas flag. The Lone Star State. I've been there. I've been to Houston. I've been to Galveston. I've been to Dallas. Next time around, maybe I'm trying to get to this where all the law tubers went last year or this year in August in Houston, and for that Mauricio, whatever it's called. Yes, I visited the space thingy, NASA. I visited that and saw all the rockets and everything. Yeah, next year I hope I can get to Anime Matsuri in Houston and meet up with a lot of other guys. And I also want to, because I have a standing invitation to Florida, to meet up with Steve Gosney. So hopefully I can do that this summer. I haven't been to Latvia, but my aunt's husband is from Latvia, so I know a bit about it. Yeah, I know you're an actual country. Yay! So yes, I know Latvia is a country.
You saying that he needed your help?
No, I didn't. If I'm being honest with you, I don't even know how to really just do stuff like that. I'm not very knowledgeable when it comes to police, court things. I just don't know.
Your brother and father are drug dealers. You had baby with a convicted felon, and you claim you don't know about courts and stuff? Sure.
But were you hearing anything from your friends and family that Charles was wanted?
No, but I was receiving, it was a lot of harassment for the people on the other side. It caused me to have to completely get rid of my social media accounts.
Oh, you ass. You were harassed by the other side. You know who that other side is? That's Marisela Botello's family. Trying to find answers while people keep helping Chucky get away with, in my opinion, murder. Poor you.
Because they were attacking myself, my son who has an Instagram, his family, like his mother and things of that nature. But I wasn't really getting a lot from my friends. It was just more when it happened, when she went
Of these
missing.
outside people? Thinking because you were connected to Charles through your child,
Right,
they were coming after you.
absolutely.
And it was terrifying, wasn't it?
Yes.
Now, if you knew Chuck had a warrant for his arrest, would you have tried to help him?
I would have taken him to the police department myself. What are you doing?
Okay, because to help him, that would have been like harboring a fugitive. That's.
Do you mean helping him, like hiding him, or do you mean
Yes.
help? No, I wouldn't have hit him at all. I
Okay.
would have taken him to the police department myself.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You just testified that when you called your dad and him and had a three-way call, you were discussing how to hide him. You wouldn't have turned him in for nothing.
And during this time, he told you that he had talked to the detectives, but he made it appear like they had cleared him.
Correct.
So he's a pretty good liar, isn't he? Because he had you believing this. Yes or no?
Yes.
And he put not only you and your son and your daughter at risk, but he put your mom, your dad, your brothers at risk.
Correct.
And they could have been charged
You'll
with
have
harboring a
with him.
fugitive or helping a fugitive.
So not my mom, but
Your dad and your brothers.
yes.
And he's talking to you that he's just making it seem like he's just traveling the world,
Yes.
not a care in the world.
Yes.
But then you later find out that this girl was brutally murdered,
Yes.
and he was involved in the murder.
Yeah, to a certain extent, yes.
Now, you said that you got a rental and you drove him to Utah.
Yes.
Were you having to pay for things for him? Like the rental, getting him set up? Did he have any money of his own?
He has some cash.
He has, but was most of the money coming from you? Were you basically taking care of him?
Kind of, yes.
Okay. And now, Miss Cannon.
He was the prime suspect until he squealed on Lisa Dykes and made up this fantastic story that, in my opinion, is not supported by the physical evidence at all. But with his testimony, they might get a murder conviction out of Lisa Dykes. Instead of, okay, we can't prove the actual murder, who of these three actually did it, but we can prove they hid the body, they concealed evidence, they ran away, they hid, they lied, everything. And with his criminal past, he is looking at least 20 to life, if convicted. Lisa and Nina, maybe 5 to 20 for the tampering with evidence stuff. But he squealed like the absolute coward he is, because he always lies to get away with things. That's his nature. And the prosecution runs with it.
I want to get to the part where he's actually telling you about what happened to Marisela. He said that they were smoking and they were drinking.
Yes.
Did he tell you what they were smoking?
Weed.
Okay. Do you know if it was laced with anything?
No, it wasn't laced.
But you don't know that for sure.
I don't know for sure, but I highly doubt it was laced.
Okay. But he told you they were, I'm going to use this, shit-faced, that they were really messed up.
Crossfaded.
Oh, crossfaded. Okay.
Yes.
Crossfaded, okay. And
Over here in Sweden, if you actively makes a woman cross-faded, shit-faced, whatever's, and then decides to engage in coitus, that's grape in our judicial system. And again, my theory of this case is that she somehow turned him down and he couldn't take it. We know he's violent. Armed robbery, violence towards women, carrying a gun whilst felon. I mean, he's more or less a career criminal who sometimes have a job and dozens and dozens of women.
You know that Charles, he sells drugs himself.
No,
He didn't.
no,
Did you ever know him to use ecstasy?
from time to time,
What about any other stuff like Percocet or anything else like that?
no.
Okay. And he said they're talking, they had sex, they fell asleep. He wakes up with Lisa on top of Marisela.
Yes, ma'am.
And not only was she on top, but she's stabbing Marisela.
Yes, ma'am.
Did he say how many times?
No, he
saw
did
her?
not.
And then he says he just pushes her off.
Yes, ma'am.
And then he gets up and goes to the restroom.
Yes, ma'am.
So he tells her he saw Lisa stab Marisela, and he and went to take a piss.
And he comes back. And what does he tell you he sees when he comes back from the restroom?
Marisela was on the ground, but Lisa was down there too. And so he was saying that he was more so of in shock of what was.
If the intent of getting the woman drunk, high, shit-faced, whatever she calls it, and the man is the one who is still clear enough in his head to engage coitus, that's the baseline of that. Now, if this Marisela ends up dead, now, if it is a case, this is in Sweden as well. He said, she said, and there's nothing being told until years later. Then that case rarely goes to trial in Sweden. Now, with that said, and I can't sugarcoat this. If you as a woman, or a man for that matter, say no, stuff are being done with you anyways, you have to go to the cops or the hospital immediately. I know your instincts are otherwise. Research tells me this. But for the evidence, cops, hospital, immediately for the testing. And I know that's hard. I mean, that's one of the hardest in your state of mind after everything that happened. But that's not even legal advice. This is general advice that you can find everywhere. You need to report it as soon as possible to save the evidence. And that's not me being an ass. That's me just stating the facts of how prosecutions go when it comes to those kind of crimes. You have to have the evidence. The sooner you report it, the better.
Going on, and he didn't go back and attempt to help because of the shock. At that time, Nina walked in and he walked out.
Okay, so he said it was because he was in so much shock.
Yes.
That's why.
So he tells this girl one story, his other girl another story. He lies. He lies. How can the prosecution put this feces in human form on the stand saying all this?
He didn't help Marisela.
In the beginning, he attempted to help, but then afterwards,
Okay.
because he pushed Lisa,
Mhm.
trying to push her off of Marisela to help her in the beginning. And after that, after they fell on the ground, that's when he went to the restroom.
Instead of trying to break them up completely, he goes off to the restroom.
Correct.
I'm gonna ask you, did that even make sense to you?
I'm not really, but to
Okay.
me, I mean,
Oh, that's okay. It didn't make sense to you.
right.
Okay. And then he also told you he was in the white SUV.
Yes.
All right. I passed the witness, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
May this witness be found guilty?
Good cross-examination. What? No, shut up and sit down. Don't ruin this.
Permit me, Your Honor. Okay.
Sure.
Ms. Cannon, did you know that Charles had gone to prison? He had gone to state prison and federal prison?
Yes.
Did you know what religion he practiced?
No.
So you don't know anything about Santa Muerte?
No.
Okay. I passed the witness, Your Honor.
Anything further?
Why didn't you talk about his actual convictions? Because they are in his plea deal. Those are official court papers. Well, it was miles better than the other defense lawyers' cross-examination of the previous girlfriend. Is it enough to rehash the damage the previous defense lawyer did? I don't know.
No, Your Honor.
May this witness be found excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You are free to leave and go about your business.
Okay, thank you.
Call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Leo Dentz.
Okay, it's 14 minutes to my channel's birthday stream. I have to set some things up, send out some more invites, and stuff like that. So I'm going to send you all over there now to that 1 year anniversary stream. And if you're not sent over, I will share the link here. There. So you can all go over there. You can wait. You can take a leak, grab a cup of coffee or a drink of your choice, because in 13, 15 minutes, it's birthday party with guests and stupid things and discussions and everything in between. And remember, Zachariah Anderson's defense fund. So far, up to $530 donated. Please continue. If you have a $5 or a $10 and as long as you don't make yourself broke, if you have anything to spare, please consider donating to the Zachariah Anderson Defense Fund. And if you want me to spin this wheel, the wheel of regret, a token of your appreciation towards my channel, either through gifted memberships, super chats, or via my PayPal. And that will start in 12, 13, 14 minutes. I have to set some things up. And thank you all for being here. Besides my birthday stream, I have no idea when it will end. It all depends on you and my liver. Tomorrow it's Yodi Day again. After Yodi, I will try to stream the rest of this day on Saturday on the Marisela Botello murder trial, and on Saturday as well. It's a serial killer Saturday over at Rumble. So it's going to be a full day tomorrow with me hungover like a motherfucker. Okay, thank you all for being here. I'll see you in 11, 12 minutes or something. All right. Thank you all. I'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.